You're listening to Critical Mass Radio. Now, it's our turn.
CMR Critical Mass Radio in association with We Are Change Manchester and Freedom Northwest. Please note the views and opinions expressed by the hosts on this show are not necessarily the views held by the station. CMR is for people who want answers, because now it's our turn.
Good evening to you all. Thank you ever so much for joining me here on criticalmassradio.co.uk. This is Rob Freeman once again for what am I on now, show number 16 for the Out of the Matrix show. How's everyone doing? You alright? Hello to everyone in the chat room. Yo, hi Lisa. Oh, a few familiar faces here. Oh, we're a bit light in the chat room tonight, aren't we? Never mind, it'll fill up later. Yeah, so good evening to all you in the chat room. Thanks a lot for getting involved. And good evening to anybody listening on podcast. That's about it, I think. Yeah, I've got to tell you, I am so excited tonight. Tonight's show, all about our Critical Mass Radio conference. Let me just get the other page up. Yeah, so tonight, you can see it here on the homepage, but I'll read it out. Tonight's show is dedicated to the first ever Critical Mass Radio Time to Act conference. This is why I'm so excited. And what I thought I'd do tonight is a slightly different show, a bit slightly different from what I normally do. So tonight we're going to have a brief overview of all the topics being covered on the day. Saturday, isn't it? It's coming up. So what we've got Wednesday. We're only 2 or 3 days away, aren't we? Yeah. So a brief overview of all the topics that we're covering and how vital this information is. And there's a little write-up here that is on the homepage, and it says ultimately it could well be the difference between saving the lives of our children from the end goal of the New World Order agenda, or sleepwalking ourselves into voluntary genocide. And that's about the top and bottom of it, as far as I'm concerned. And that's what this conference is all about. So, and the last little bit, it says the choice is ours and the time to act. Great name for a conference, by the way. So the choice is ours and the time to act is now. So, that's what tonight's show is going to be about. We've got 7 speakers, as you can see. If you're on the home page, where are we? Yeah, there's 7 speakers, including myself. It's right at the bottom of the home page. And you can see we've got Rob B, Albert Burgess, Ben EMLYN-JONES, a host here on CMR, Tony Farrell, myself, another host of ours, Mark Howes, and David Noakes. So, some great speakers there. They've all got a little subheading of the particular subject that they're speaking about. So, what I thought I'd do, once I get cracking, after I played another song, is cover a little bit of each one of those subjects. Now, it will not be much in depth, I'll just give you a little bit of a taster. So, if you're not coming to this conference on Saturday, what is wrong with you? You have got no reason you have got no reason to not come. It's £10 for 7 speakers. The information is vital. It's invalid. It's probably the most important thing you're ever going to hear. So, what's that work out? £1.43 per speaker. I keep breaking this down, don't I? I mean, how cheap do we work? That's unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah, so, get your horses off settees. Don't go to the pub. Don't go to the Tesco. Get to Didsbury in Manchester at the, what's it called, the Britannia House. Is it Britannia Country House Hotel, I think it's called. Let me just get it up. Yep, I think that's what it's called anyway. Anyway, it's on the homepage. You've got no excuse. You've got to get there. Right, so before I carry on, I'm going to just do a couple of little announcements, stick another song on, and then we'll cover some of those subjects. So, what announcements have I got? Okay, just want to thank a few people. Future Solution, who frequents our chat room quite a lot. Cheers, mate. You sent me some good stuff this week. I don't think you're there tonight yet, are you? Yvonne, who's sometimes in the chat room, or quite often, but she's not there either tonight. But she sent me some lovely stuff. So thanks to you, Yvonne. Truth Dave. I know he's not listening tonight, but I think he's there on Saturday. He arranged. I've not been here for 2 weeks. I didn't have a show last week. Yeah, so it's a couple of weeks since I've been here. I did a talk last Monday in Liverpool and survived it. Unbelievable. I survived Scousland. Me and my brother went all the way to Liverpool, about 100 miles away. Did a really good talk. Well, I think it was a good talk. Truth Juice Dave set it up, and it was for Truth Juice Liverpool. Yeah, a great set of people over there. Yeah, really enjoyed that. So we survived Scousland. That was quite good. So yeah, thanks to Dave for that, and everybody I met there. And then finally, I just want to say thanks to my brother. He'll probably be listening on podcast, actually. I'm getting some threats here from the chat room. Oh, thanks, Lisa. Yep. says I did a good talk, but she probably didn't understand it because I speak Yorkshire and she speaks Scouse, so yeah, thanks Lisa. Yeah, so my brother, Giovanni Vincenzo, I call him, takes me everywhere, helps out, just sits in the background, he's always there. I know he's not listening, but he'll catch it on podcast. Cheers, Booker, and he'll be there again taking me across on Saturday and spending the day. Brilliant, he's a brilliant bloke. He's got no reason to, this is why I'm telling people, get to this conference. My brother, he's got no reason to panic, he's not in financial difficulty, although he's not super wealthy, but he's comfortable. He's got nothing alarming pressing against him. Oh, that sounds dodgy, doesn't it? He's got no real worries, but he's in that middle, that comfort zone, that middle bracket. All his people he associates with are doing quite well financially, and they are completely unaware of what's happening. But my brother, fair play to him, he's had the foresight to look down the timeline, realising that he's comfortable now, but he can see what's happening. He can see the agenda being played out. So nice one, bro, for not just sitting on your arse like all your comfortable friends. And he's doing it for us, and ultimately for himself in the long run. But because there's no urgency, he could sit and wait and see what develops, but he's not. He's getting off his arse, he's looking down the timeline, and he's trying his best to help us all, so he's one of us. So cheers, bro, for that. And I'll see you on Saturday. Right, so I'm going to stick another song in a minute and crack on with this, covering a few of these topics. I've done quite a lot of research on the subjects. Cheers, mate. Just a message from the chat room. I've done quite a bit of research on the topics that have been covered by the speaker, so I thought I'd just give a little snippet. So you can't say, oh, I don't know what the conference is going to be about, or, oh, that might not interest me, because every single subject there is all connected, every single one of them. I'm going to go through them slightly in a bit, just in brief. But there's something for everyone there. Look at the subjects that are covered. It's unbelievable. If you pay a tenner and come out of this conference and you don't get something from it, then you best check your pulse. You best check you've got one. Because, like I said, this information is invaluable. Okay, so I'm excited about it. I can't stop going on about it. So, I just want to tell you a quick story. I've got time. I'll just take my time tonight. I'm just going to have a more chilled out show tonight with a few good tunes. Yeah, I'll just tell you, I've really embarrassed myself this week. Excuse me. Last time I embarrassed myself a few weeks ago when I tried to get my seatbelt off in my car. Oh, sorry, I tried to take my jacket off in my car and I forgot to do the seatbelt and everything was wrapped around me. And I drove past these workmen that were laughing at me. And it was pretty embarrassed because I don't get embarrassed easy. It was quite embarrassing. But the other day, oh my God, I've got to tell you about this. Okay, I'm in a busy town centre. There's cars all over. I see my mate. I've not seen him for 2 or 3 years. I've known him 20 years. Jono, my big mate, Jono, you can't miss him. Jono's a freak. He's 6'5" and 21 stone. And I see this massive mountain of a man with his back to me. He's got 2 little kids with him, which I know he's got 2 kids, boy and a girl. His wife's little with blonde hair. He always wears a blue cap, big leather jacket. Jono's there, man mountain, with his back to me. I think, wow, I've not seen him for 3 years, and we've always had a laugh, Jono. Like I say, he's a monster of a man. He's about 6'5" and 21 stone. So I'm rushing across this road. Now, anybody that knows me knows I don't really get excited very often. I'm pretty a calm character, but I'm excited because Jono's brilliant. I love him. We used to do martial arts and stuff together and work together. And the thing about Jono is he's like a big grizzly bear and he's ever so loud. When we were at work, Jono would come up behind me and I'd hear the words, "Defend yourself," and I'd get a massive slap in my back and I'd spin round and he'd be attacking me just pretending like a big grizzly bear. And we used to do it to each other, just messing about, sneak up on each other and shout, "Defend yourself." So anyway, cut a long story short, what happens is, I cross this busy road, almost get knocked over. I'm so excited because Jono's there, chatting to his missus. He's got his back to me. I go sneaking up to him. You can't miss him. He's 21 stone. He's huge. Sounds like Kato. Yeah, it does. I think I've got him. I've not seen him for 3 years. He's gonna SH his pants here. So I'll go running up to him. I have to jump up because I'm not very tall and he's massive. I jump up in the air and because I'm quite a stocky bloke, a massive slap on in the middle of his leather jacket in his back. I shout, "Jono, defend yourself," laughing my head off. Well, Jono spins round and we look at each other, and for that first 3 seconds, oh my God, I wanted the floor to open up. Guess what, folks? It wasn't Jono. Not only was it not him, it looked nothing like him. Jono's got a bald head, he always wears a cap. This bloke had long ginger hair, and a ginger goatee beard. Well, he looked at me and I looked at him and I thought, oh shit, how can I get Jono mixed up? He's a freak of nature. Anyway, the bloke looks at me, I look at him and I thought, what do I do? Do I apologise? Do I run? I'm absolutely shitting my pants. What happens is my mate Rob phones me on my mobile. I say to him, excuse me, I won't be a sec, and I run off with my mobile phone. Honestly, so that is, and I don't get embarrassed. That's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me lately, God. How can anybody get mixed up with Jono? He's a freak of nature. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you, so... I haven't been embarrassed like that for years, so... Try and forget about that now. Right, I'm going to stick a song on now. I'm going to play this for Lisa, because I played it, I think, last week. Well, I think it was 2 weeks ago when I did my last show, and she liked it. So I'll stick this on, and then we'll get into some of these subjects. So I'll see you back in a couple of minutes. Yeah, welcome back. The CMR Time to Act Conference, what this show is all about for tonight. Yeah, so all the topics are mentioned there, aren't they? And just before that, yeah, we had Joe Brooks there with Holes Inside, a great song for such a young kid. Yeah, so let's go to our first subject. Just looking at the post on the homepage here, let's have a look. In no particular order, let's have a look. Albert Burgess, History and Development of the English Constitution and Crimes Committed Against It by Government and How People Can Take Ownership of a Little Bit of Fight Back, or I think I should say with a little bit of fight back. Yeah, so English Constitution, a lot of people are unaware that there is a Constitution, an English one. I'm not exactly sure whether it's written down as such like the American Constitution, but it does exist and it's there. Okay, so I thought I'd give you a little bit of information of how the English Constitution came about. The English Constitution is akin with Magna Carta that was signed in 1215. Okay, I did quite a lot of research on this about 3 or 4 years ago, perhaps a bit longer now, perhaps 5 years ago when I got into the original Freeman stuff. And so I thought what I'd do is I'd give you a little bit of background of how it developed into the English Constitution. And it all came from the greatest king, the greatest monarch that England's ever had, in my opinion. Okay, so Alfred the Great, known as the King of Wessex, I think he reigned from this is how long ago it was, the year 871 to 899. So what's that, 20 odd years, isn't it? Was it nearly 30 years, yeah? So Alfred developed a set of laws, and he codified them. And from his original laws, based on common sense, it actually evolved into English Constitution and the Magna Carta. So remember, this is the year 871 to the year 899. I think England was split up into different areas. So I'll just tell you a little bit about what he actually achieved. A fantastic king, the greatest king or queen that we've ever had in this country. So Alfred the Great, he successfully defended his kingdom against the Viking attempt at conquest. So a great feat in itself, isn't it? He was the first king of the Anglo-Saxons. Alfred was a learned and merciful man who encouraged education and improved his kingdom's legal system. Notice its legal system. He developed a legal system, but a fair legal system. He improved his kingdom's legal system and military structure. He introduced his own laws, law codes they were called, that basically were the foundations of common law, thus eventually being mirrored to form the English Constitution and Magna Carta. Just fantastic, the stuff he did. Somebody in the chat room, Lisa there, saying the greatest king wouldn't be hard. Yeah, I agree, love. Yeah, but he was really great. He was fantastic. Probably the most important code of law was the first one. And this is a quote. He said, we enjoin what is most necessary, that each man keep carefully his oath and his pledge. Great words, all the way back in 871, whenever it was, that if you say you are going to do something, if you pledge something or swear an oath, that you stick to it. And that's really what it's all about, isn't it? He insisted that justice should be dispersed without fear and fervour. Well, that's still used today, that phrase. He is generally credited with establishing trial by jury, called the Law of Frank Pledge, it was called in them days. So he kind of he did establish trial by jury, which what we've kind of gone away from today, due to this bloody statute legal system. That's what we want to get back to. So he established the first trial by juries, the common law courts, what we need to get back to today. And he took some of the really, really old laws, the good ones, got rid of the shite ones, and developed a great codified system. Well, I missed that bit out. And it says, on the bit of research I've done here, he was so exact in his government that robbery was unheard of. So, incredible. So, from King Alfred, that's where we are now developed into the English Constitution, based on his codified laws, eventually developing into common law with the signing of the Magna Carta. So, yeah, check him out on the internet, Alfred the Great, King of Wessex, from the year 871 to 899. Yeah, brilliant. So I mentioned this because Albert Burgess is going to be going into the English Constitution. In fact, I've met Albert a few times. He'll probably have a stand selling DVDs. And on his DVDs, I bought a couple actually about 2 or 3 years ago. He explains all about King Alfred and what great things that he achieved. And we are still benefiting from them today. Well, we should be benefiting from them, but we're actually not, are we? But that's what we want to get back to. Yep, so I'll stick another song. Oh, this is fantastic. Every song I'm playing tonight, apart from the first one, which was Road to Hell. Yeah, I open with Road to Hell because, as we know, we're the 1%. The 99% are they're just travelling down a road. They've got no idea of the destination. They are on autopilot, aren't they? They are bemused by the flashing lights, and they are just driving straight to a destination they've got no idea. And us lot, the 1% I call us, I don't know what else to call us, like my brother, we've seen down the timeline, haven't we? We've had a look, and we know what's happening. So we've got off that horrible highway to hell. We've got off it, and all right, we're travelling on a different road, sometimes called the lower road, or the path less travelled. But that's us, isn't it? That's why we are here tonight and listening. That's why we're here every night. Why we are part of the groups we are part of, CMR, Freedom Northwest, We Are Change, the Ashton Crew, many, many groups. And that's why we're all going to this conference. It's so much easier just to sit there on autopilot and drive straight down that highway, isn't it? And just follow the vehicles in front. But we're not doing that, are we? Because we've woke up. I hate using that, but we have woke up. We are aware. And we're travelling the lower road. It's a harder road. It's difficult, but it's more rewarding, and it's what's going to save us in the end. So that's why I played that Highway to Hell. So like I say, every song I'm playing tonight means something, and it's to get us, it evokes some sort of feeling or emotion in me, every song I'm playing tonight, and I want us to get motivated and get to this conference, because not only is it about this vital information, it's also about the energy that we're putting out there. Well, it's going to be a fantastic... how can I describe it? It's going to be a fantastic amount of energy being released, positive, loving, confident energy that we are all doing the right things. And what a difference it's going to make. I don't care if 50 people turn up or 300 people turn up. We are all like-minded. We are all coming from the heart. We are all doing what's right, and it's going to be the fantastic energy boost for us all. And we're all going to gain in confidence, make connections, and we're just going to stuff it up, aren't we, folks? I know we are. We're going to win this. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a struggle, but we're going to stuff it up, aren't we? So I'll stick another song, and I'll see you back in a couple of minutes. That's my jingle, isn't it? If anyone can, Rob can. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, we can, can't we? Not only we can, we are going to do it. And this conference is the start of it. I'm telling you now, I can feel it in my water. This is the start of something big, I'm telling you. Okay, so great tune that. Love that. Bring Me to Life, Evanescence. Must have heard it 150 times and still love it. Yeah, so what time are we on? Oh, 7:34. Let's crack on, because I'm not covering many topics here, are we? Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll cover, right, on the poster on the homepage, Tony Farrell, another Sheffielder, fellow Sheffielder, come on the north. Together with Manchester and Liverpool, we're stuffing it up, aren't we? Okay, Tony Farrell from Sheffield, you probably are aware, but he used to be I don't know how to explain it, an analyst for South Yorkshire Police. I think he's one of the highest in the country, actually. He used to analyse, input data into a computer system, how can I explain it, through many years of experience. His job was to ascertain the risk of a terror attack anywhere, any function, any venue, any city. That's what he used to do, like a risk assessment. And throughout his job, he was excellent at his job. And I think a couple of years ago he saw a documentary on 9/11. And what he realised is, he looked at the documentary and he thought, hang on a minute, the official report is not right here. So what he did is, through his experience and his job, he inputted data about 9/11 and also the 7/7 London bombings, because he saw documentaries on them. And he treated it, or treated it, I don't know how you say it, he treated it as a scenario that he was working on, and he came to the conclusion that the official narrative, the official reports on both 9/11 and 7/7 were miles out. It could not have happened, in his expert opinion, as we are being told it did happen. So based on that, he made an assessment, gave it to his gaffers, and to cut a long story short, he was then suspended. He was then told he was suffering some sort of breakdown, and he's now having a legal battle against these former employees. He no longer works for South Yorkshire Police. And I think he's taken them to court for unfair dismissal and all sorts. So yeah, fair play to Tony Farrell from Sheffield there. Had a good career, good income, could have sat on his arse, like I said, with other people. Decided the right thing to do is to tell them that he knows that there's some sort of cover-up. And I think one of the responses he got from his gaffers was, well, you are probably right, but we don't want to get involved. There's nothing we can do. Yeah, so fair play. Tony Farrell's there speaking all about what's gone wrong with British policing. Yeah, so based on that and based on the 9/11 stuff, I don't usually touch 9/11 stuff because I've done it for years, but I just wanted to play you this, and if I can find it on my playlist, you're going to like this. To reinforce everything that's been said about 9/11, I don't know if a lot of people are aware of this, so let's cast your mind back to September the 11th, 2001. George Bush Jr., the president then at that time, sat in a classroom with a load of kids and a school teacher, if you recall. During the time the kids are in the class, one of his advisors halfway through comes and whispers in his ear, you can get this up on YouTube, comes and whispers in his ear that America is under attack. Okay, fair enough. What the kids were being taught on that, the very exact time that his advisor came across and whispered in his ear, is going to blow your mind. If you've seen this before, it's still really interesting. If you've not heard this before or seen this before, it's going to blow your mind. Okay, so imagine the scenario. Bush Jr. sat there. The teacher is instructing the kids what to do. The kids are reading out loud. I think it's from a board or from a book. Okay, the very words that the kids are reading out loud, the teacher makes them read them out loud, are these words. I'll give you in order. Kite, that's K-I-T-E. They have to repeat out what they are reading very loudly. Kite, plane, hit, must, and steel. Okay, plane is spelled as in an aeroplane, and steel is spelled as in a steel building. So the kids are chanting through instructions from the teacher, kite, plane, hit, must, steel. So I did a bit of digging about, because I thought, well, where does kite come in? K-I-T-E. And through doing a little bit of digging around, I found out that K-I-T-E, kite, was a slang term that the RAF used during the Second World War, the British RAF. When they saw an enemy plane, they would say, for instance, kite at 3 o'clock. So kite means enemy aircraft. Interesting. So the very words they used were kite, plane, hit, must, steel. Enemy aircraft for kite. So let's rearrange that into the right order. And it is enemy aircraft, plane, must, hit, steel. Okay, the kids were chanting this very, very thing as Bush's advisor came and whispered in his ear. So I got over it and thought I'd just play it. It only lasts a couple of minutes. See if it works. I'll stick this on. Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it? Met her in the chat room, yeah. They went on then to read the story, The Pet Goat. That's why I left it running a little bit, because it takes a while to get there. Excuse me. Yeah, The Pet Goat. Anybody who knows anything about satanic stuff knows the goat and what it represents. Basically, the goat head, Baphomet, the devil. So, what's the chances of that? I'd love a statistician, I can't say it, but you know what I mean, to work out what are the odds of the children reading those exact words out at the very time that America's under attack. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. And we're supposed to believe the official report on what happened. Yeah, so I thought I'd just cover that little bit. So that covers what Tony Farrell... That's not what Tony Farrell's talking about, but that's something that helped lead him to where he is. Yeah, so Tony Farrell's there at the conference talking about British policing. Yeah, so what time are we on now? I've got about 50 minutes, so that's okay. Okay, so back to some of the speakers and what they're talking about. Who can we pick now? Quite interesting information, that, isn't it? Every time I hear that, I think, unbelievable. Oh, just unbelievable. Excuse me. Right, let's have a look. We'll have a look. I'll tell you what we'll do. One of our hosts, Ben EMLYN-JONES, a Panmo, just a Panmo show. What's Ben talk? Oh, he does about the paranormal, UFOs, government cover-ups, all this sort of stuff. Great stuff, Ben. It's going to be a great talk. I'm looking forward to that. Government cover-ups. I'm just having a look. Oh, yeah, and related phenomena. So, yep, I'll give you a little snippet of what sort of thing Ben will be covering. So you can't say, I'm not interested in that. This is good stuff. What was I going to... Oh, I'll tell you what, I'll do this one. I always talk to myself. I'm going to see now, aren't I? Okay, many things that Ben will be covering, but I'll just give you a little snippet of that sort of topic is... Okay, this I've managed to get hold of here is... The heading is NASA Moonwalker Alien Cover-Up. So this is going to be interesting. Okay. A former NASA astronaut, okay, Dr. Edgar Mitchell, so a former NASA astronaut, on an Apollo 14 moonwalking veteran, alleges extraterrestrial contact has been covered up for 60 years. Okay, this is a chap that walked on the moon. Okay, he used to work for NASA. Dr. Mitchell holds a Bachelor of Science degree in aeronautical engineering, and a Doctor of Science degree in aeronautics and astronautics, whatever that is, but very intelligent chap. Mitchell, with fellow Apollo 14 commander Alan Shepard, holds the record for the longest moonwalk at 9 hours and 17 minutes during their 1971 mission. Longest moonwalk? Nah, that's Michael Jackson, isn't it? Anyway, Dr. Mitchell said in a radio interview with Aussie radio host Nick Margerison that space agency sources who have had contact describe the aliens as little people who look strange to us. Okay, this bloke's not off his nut, he's not a weirdo, he's an astronaut and a very intelligent chap. And this is a quote, it's been well covered up by all our governments for the last 60 years or so, but slowly it's leaked out and some of us have been privileged to have been briefed on some of it. Still quoting, I've been in military and intelligence circles who know that beneath the surface of what has been made public knowledge, yes, we have been visited, Dr. Mitchell said. NASA does not track UFOs. NASA quickly responded to Dr. Mitchell's claims, and this is a quote from NASA, NASA is not involved in any sort of cover-up about alien life on this planet or anywhere in the universe. Dr. Mitchell is a great American, but we do not share his opinions on this issue. So, there's an expert who's walked on the moon, got the longest walk on the moon actually, telling us all about the cover-ups, and once again they are denying it and trying to discredit him. So, that sort of stuff is what Ben will be talking about. So I'm just going to click this screen off here. Okay, get rid of that. That's better. I've got so many screens open here. Yeah, so that's another good thing, isn't it? So if you're into the ufology stuff, government cover-ups, strange phenomena, Ben's going to do a fantastic job on that. Okay, so let's pick another topic. One of our other hosts, Mark Howes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I've not met Mark actually yet, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Mark Howes is going to do a talk on military basic training techniques. Oh, sorry, so I'll start again. Military basic training, techniques of mind control, and occult mockery of military and police. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. He's a clever lad, is Mark. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, so I thought I'll give you a quick snippet about basic military training. And I found some stuff here. This is an American, is it a military site? Okay, this is called the Army Study Guide. It's American, but it's the same for our soldiers. And I'm just looking on the stuff that this advises you about basic military training. So I thought, I'll have a look at this. And yeah, some unbelievable stuff. The brainwashing, for want of a better phrase, starts straight away on the web page, and it doesn't stop from, as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, Mark's going to tell us in great detail and much more all about this. So I've made a few notes in. I've got a couple of sheets up here. So this is military basic training. It's American, but it's the same for us. And I just thought I'd give you some rough ideas of what they actually do. Okay, so covering physical fitness, and this is to get people to come and join up. This is their way of attracting people. Physical fitness, running, push-ups, sit-ups, flexibility. So they cover that, so you have to be physically fit. Then there's a section, I'm not going to have time to read it all, so I'll just skip through it. There's a section on customs and courtesies. Okay, the hand salute. Straight away, it's a method of mind control and brainwashing, isn't it? The hand salute. And it says on their website, the salute is not simply an honour exchanged, it is a privileged gesture of respect and trust among soldiers. So, interesting, isn't it? So, if you salute another officer or a soldier or another fellow soldier, it's a privileged gesture of respect and what? Trust. Back to trust again. So they're privileged if you salute, so they make you feel special, aren't they? Then there's other things, rendering honour to the flag. So you're fighting for a flag, a piece of material with different colours, stars and stripes on it. Wow, let's fight for that flag, eh? Yeah, brilliant. Really, you're fighting for a corporation, aren't you? As you can tell, I don't mean anything disrespectful to anybody that is in the military or has served in the military, but have a look at it, have a look what's really happening. Then they do drill and ceremony. That's all about marching and stuff. That's quite interesting. Then they do a full section on position of attention, how to stand, and it goes into unbelievable detail. See if I can get it up as I'm speaking. Oh, man. Assume the position of attention on the command fall in. I'm reading from their page now. On the command fall in or the command squad attention. Listen to this. How the hell are you supposed to follow this? This is total brainwash and mind control. To assume this position, bring the heels together sharply on line, with the toes pointing out equally, forming an angle of 45 degrees. Rest the weight of the body evenly on the heels and balls of both feet. Keep the legs straight without locking the knees. Hold the body erect with the hips level, chest lifted and arched, and the shoulders square. What? Shut up, I can't remember the first bit of that, can you? So, you have got to get the exact position. Unbelievable, isn't it? All my screen's gone all strange. Yeah, so that's the position of attention. So, just going off this bit, I wanted to just cover this bit because it made me laugh. Can I get to it? Something very strange is happening. Yeah, just bear with me because my computer's been playing up lately. Oh, that's it, I'm back on it, I think. Yeah, my computer's been playing up really, really strange. Yeah, so obviously Mark's going to go into great detail about stuff like this for the basic training. So just before I move off onto another subject, I just wanted to read this out. This is a page off the same site, and it's headed, where are we? Most common myths about basic training for the military. Okay, there's only about 8 points. Well, it made me laugh, this. If you listen to the words that they're using, but then look in between the words, I think there's a slightly different message here. It seeks to get rid of myths that are based on the army and training itself. So myth 1, it says, I run every day and work out on a regular basis. I am physically fit for basic training. Okay, that's the myth, and this is a myth bust of the facts given by them, the military themselves. And the facts are, chances are, your current workout doesn't include exercises you will do at basic training. At basic training, you will use muscles you didn't know existed. All right, okay. And you will use them constantly. So, constantly, what's that mean? It means you're going to work hard, doesn't it? The most popular section of my book, I don't know what that bit is, has been the fitness routine. The fitness routine helps prepare your muscles for basic training, so by the time you arrive, you're miles ahead of the pack. Okay, so they send it out in advance. So straight away, I have done many sports, and I was quite good at sports all the way through my life, and it's a form of discipline. Sports are discipline, so they send it out before you join up to get you ready, so it's a form of discipline, isn't it? It's a regime. Okay, so myth number 2. Drill sergeants can physically hurt me. Fact. Drill sergeants can't physically harm you. Listen to this. That practice was abolished years ago. Really? So they used to physically hurt you, but they stopped doing it now. Wow. How flipping reassuring is that? The movies you see, the practice was abolished years ago. So they admit that they used to physically harm you. Unbelievable. The movies you see and the books you read that show such violence are inaccurate unless they take place in the past. So they're admitting they used to. Okay. Myth number 3. Drill sergeants are trained to hate me, so that there is nothing I can do about that. Fact. Drill sergeants do not hate you. Thanks. And they don't want you to hate them. Listen to this. They are motivators and trainers. Oh, right. In order for drill sergeants to train you, this is a quote directly from these people, they need to break you down from civilian to soldier. Wow. So by their own admission, they are breaking you down from being a civilian, perhaps a loving, caring, warm civilian, to a cold-hearted, unthinking, just automatically follow orders soldier. That takes skill and discipline. Wow. You can't expect someone who needs to give you such a transformation to be nice and accommodating. It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's unbelievable. Okay, myth, whatever number it is. I heard that I won't be able to contact my friends or family at basic training. Fact, yes you will. Although you certainly won't get to spend as much time talking to them as you like. Normally you will get a 3-minute phone call once a week to check in with your family. I'll just read that again. This is a young kid on military basic training, maybe first time away from his home, 17 years old. Normally you will get a 3-minute phone call once a week to check in with your family. This phone call is mainly for their benefit, so they know you are okay. Okay, so it's not even for the soldier's benefit, it's for his family to know he's okay. 3 minutes a week, guys. Wow, and this is not mind control. Okay, almost done. I don't know what this one is. I'll just read it out and it'll come out however it comes out. Myth. I heard there was no mail at basic training. Okay, fact. Mail call is one of the best times of the day for a recruit. I'm sure it is because he only gets 3 minutes a week on the phone. There is mail at basic training. In fact, before you leave, encourage your friends and family to write to you often. You will appreciate such a request when you arrive. Okay, so they want everything done by post and encourage them to write because they don't want you speaking with your family. Think about it. Why don't they want you speaking with your family, voice to voice, over the telephone for more than 3 minutes? Because you might have regrets about joining up in the first place. Yeah, so I thought I'd play a bit of that. I thought I'd read you a bit of that, sorry. Quite interesting, wasn't it? So like I say, Mark Howes, who does the Methods of Mayhem show on Sundays, is going to go into great detail about that. So what time have we got? 40 minutes. What time have we got? What time are we on? 7:55. And I thought I'd read you out what I did. I think it's about 3 or 4 years ago now. So just before I read it out, I'm just wandering over to this chat room. It's filled up a little bit now. I'm just having a look who's in it before I go into this EU thing. So let's have a look. Yeah, evening, Metatron 11. How you doing? Yvonne? Evening to you, love. Dr. Watson? How you doing, mate? You alright? I haven't seen you for a couple of weeks. Everybody alright? Dr. Watson, you've not been, have you, for a while? You've been busy? You've been helping Sherlock solve crimes by any chance? Yep. Who else have we got? If I click on, I can find out who's there. Yeah, so, Philip, yeah, usual suspects. Oh, Kevo's just come on. Hey, Kevo, how you doing, mate? You alright? Yeah, that's about it. I think I've said hello to everybody else. So, yeah. Oh, hey, Kevin's saying hello. Right, so, thanks, Dr. Watson, for joining us again. Oh, I was going to make a joke about Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. Oh, no, best not. What time is it? It's not 9 o'clock. Dr. Watson, remind me on the chat room. I'll tell you about it just before the show. Right. Oh, I best not. Yeah, I will. Just before the show, I'll tell you a joke about Dr. Watson. Oh, good, Betty. You all right, mate? Sound. Oh, yeah, plenty to do, Dr. Watson. Yeah, I know. It's horrible, isn't it? Life takes over, doesn't it? Yeah. So, here's me waffling. Let's go on about this European Union stuff. Okay. David Noakes is going to go into great detail at the conference. Dr. Watson, are you coming to the conference, by the way? I hope so, mate. It's not far to go. It's only a tenner, isn't it? So, get your arse there, mate. I've not seen you for years. Okay, so David Noakes is going to be talking about the European Union, isn't he? So, from a study I did about 3 years ago, I just thought I'd give you a little bit about what the European Union is. Okay, the European Union, everyone thinks it's a corporation. We've discovered that everything's a corporation, haven't we? The United Kingdom Corporation, for instance. All our political parties are corporations, Labour, Conservative, whatever. All our nationalised industries, whatever they're private corporations, even down to the Bank of England. So we expect the European Union, the EU, to be a corporation, but it's not, however. It is not a corporation. Very strange. So what is the EU? Okay, the European Union. The EU is a group of countries whose governments work together. Okay, so it's a group of it's a group of countries. Interesting. Yeah, Meta saying in the chat room there, UK PLC. Yes, exactly what it is, mate. It's a private corporation, isn't it? But the EU, strangely enough, is not. Okay, I don't know where I got this from. I think I got it from the some affiliated website affiliated to the European Union. So the EU is a group of countries whose governments work together. It's a bit like a club, it says here. No, it's a lot like a club. In fact, it is a fucking club. A big club. Okay. You have to agree its rules to join, and in return, you get certain benefits. Cartel, yeah, I like good word, Dr. Watson says in the chat room. Cartel, yeah. It is, mate. Each country that joins has to pay to be a member. Okay. This is usually done through taxes. Oh, what a surprise. So that's the big club, is it? So each country decides to join. They have to pay to join this group, this cartel, if you like, and it has to be paid for by, who? The working man through his taxes. There is no, don't consult us whether we actually want to be there, or whether he wanted to go in the first place, or whether we want to stay there. No, we're in it now, so yeah, just pay your taxes. Yeah, we live in a free society, don't we? Not. The EU, oh, they said EMU then, Roddle, an EMU. The EMU, no, I'll start again. The EU uses this money to change the way people live and do business in Europe. Okay, this is from an affiliated website to the European Union. I'll just read that line out again. Any document or any website, always read it. I always have to read it, like the military thing earlier. I always have to read it 3 or 4 times. Okay, the EU uses this money to change the way people live, comma, and do business in Europe. Okay. Change the way people live. That's exactly what's happening, isn't it, guys? Isn't it, chaps and chappesses? 70% now, almost 70%, of laws, so-called laws, legislation, coming to Britain. It doesn't arise in Britain, it comes from Brussels via the EU. Okay, so 70% of our laws that aren't laws, they are statutes that only have the force of law if we consent to them. 70% of them are coming from Brussels, a foreign entity, a foreign power. That's treason in my book. Again, continuing, and again it's from this website, countries join because they think that they will benefit from the changes the EU makes. Okay, let's read that again. Countries join because they think that they will benefit from the changes the EU makes. Okay, it's not doing a very good job of promotion, is it, this particular website, because it's telling us that countries join because they think that they will benefit. So it's not even telling us that they are going to benefit, it's telling us that they think they're going to benefit from the changes the EU makes. Have you noticed how it's all about change? It's all about changing our perception, changing our laws, and reframing society. This is what it's all about. I just reading the chat room here. Yeah, I strongly suspect that the EU, in fact, I know, has a large common purpose element in there. Common purpose is if you don't know, is a charity. Well, it's masquerading as a charity. Its main aim and ambition is to reframe society, reframe Britain, and obviously reframe Europe into one state. It's to change our way of thinking. And the clues are everywhere. They're all over this, what I'm reading now. It's all about changing society. For what? For benefits, or perceived benefits, yeah. So as I said earlier, it is not a corporation and is therefore unaccountable. I don't know why I said it like that. I said unaccountable. Okay, I'll read that again. It is not a corporation and is therefore unaccountable. So we are swapping fundamental freedoms for the promise of a few paltry benefits. The same old story, the same old routine played out over and over and over again, and we just keep falling for it, sorry. Like I say, 70% of all legislation now, in the form of statute laws, laughingly called laws, they're actually, I got this from Rob Bollocks over at Manchester, they are called diktats. We are being dictated to and tricked into consent, so they are diktats. Yeah, so 70% of all legislation here in Britain comes from the unelected, unaccountable, I don't know how to describe them, fat bastard bureaucrats from Brussels who sit on their arses and do nothing. Somebody told me they get 300 quid instantly just for signing in the morning, just for turning up at work. They are instantly get 300 quid before they do anything. Another 2,500 bits of legislation have come through this year. Another 2,500 so-called laws that are infringing on our rights, but worse still are taking away our fundamental freedoms, infringing on them and giving us nothing in return for the promise of a few paltry benefits. And like I say, this is why this conference is so important. David Noakes is going to go into this in great detail. I'm just not even scratching the surface, am I? So yeah, our rights, but more importantly, fundamental freedoms is what we want to be looking at. Rights can be argued about all day long. Fundamental freedoms cannot. Fundamental freedoms give rise to rights. Rights can be argued about, but not if you establish fundamental freedoms first. The European Convention on Fundamental Freedom, Fundamental Freedoms and Human Rights, then give rise to for us to argue about rights. But what they are getting rid of are fundamental freedoms. They are corporatising us and treating us like corporations of one. So this is why this conference is so important. And then the last bit I found, as we all know, the British government and the Queen, she's just as bad. I'm not one of these who subscribes to the theory that the Queen has been somehow compromised or blackmailed or forced into doing what she's doing to give assent. She's from the elite, is it Saxe-Coburg-Gotha bloodline, Windsor bloodline, renamed. She's from an elite bloodline. She is cold in her eyes, so are all her offspring, all her family. They are an elite bloodline, as we know, and I know some people in the chat room are agreeing with me. No way, in my opinion, has she been compromised. She's working together with the British government, committing treason, giving away our power, the power of Britain, to a foreign entity. So, sorry Liz, I hope you're listening. You're probably not. You're probably trimming the heads of your corgis. But you are just as much to blame, if not more, because ultimately you do have the power. So, the British government and the Queen are all guilty of treason. Okay, we have been sold down the river. From the common market, it started with was it the common market in the 70s? Was it Edward Heath and those muppets? Entered the common market under the guise of free trade, didn't we? And then it became the EEC and eventually morphed into the European Union. And all it is a way of selling us down the river, isn't it? So something I spoke about with the Rev the other day, I entered lawful rebellion a few years ago now, and this was something I might touch on, in fact I will touch on, when I speak at the conference this Saturday. We now need, it's more than a need, it's an obligation, we need to join lawful rebellion. We have got an obligation to each other and for the sake of the country to lawfully rebel, to peacefully non-comply with everything, all the legislation, whether it is now British or from Brussels, given the seal of OK, the assent of the Queen, until such a time as the government gets replaced, or the Queen gets replaced, or the whole lot of them just get fucking shoved in a river. Excuse me. We need to lawfully rebel now, peacefully. It's always got to be peacefully. It's our duty, according to Magna Carta signed in 1215, it's our duty to peacefully non-comply and to peacefully hinder as much as we can what they are doing. Yeah, so I'll be talking a little bit about that, but like I say, David Noakes will be explaining much, much more about the European Union. Yeah, so we're being shafted right, left and centre in every avenue you can think of, aren't we? Yeah, some interesting stuff there. Yeah, some interesting stuff in the chat room there. I like it. Yeah, inalienable God-given freedom, says Meta. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Lisa. Arseholes, that's the first time I've heard you swear. Man, you're a Scouser, aren't you? So, arsehole. I can't say arsehole. I can't say it, but yeah, a Scouser, and I've hardly heard you swear, but yeah, you're making up for it now. Arseholes like it, yeah. So, what have I covered? What I've covered just about... last bit I want to cover, but I want to stick a song on now. So that's the EU with David Noakes. Another speaker, Rob B, I'll call him. Over at the Ashton, he does the Ashton meetings. I think it's just outside Manchester, isn't it? Just to the northwest. Unbelievable bloke, Rob B. Super intelligent. Better saying in the chat room, we're not Cockneys, Rob. Yeah. I'm rubbish, aren't I? I used to be good at accents. I'll practice for next week. I'll do some great accents. Yeah, Rob B, so intelligent, makes me look like like I'm dumb. Yeah, so it's so clever, doing some great work. He'll be speaking. And this topic is a great topic, really, and we sometimes lose sight of this. And it's why we are doing what we are doing. Why are we doing why are we fighting back? And what are the goals we are aiming for? What are we trying to achieve? And I think when you've been doing this a long time, we get wrapped up in this sort of thing, don't we? We get so wrapped up, we forget actually what we're aiming for. I'm going to actually cover a little bit of this about on my talk actually about what we're actually aiming for or what we should be aiming for. Yeah, so Rob's going to do a talk all about that, and that's a talk in itself, isn't it? I'm going to stick another song on now. And then we'll cover a little bit about what Rob's going into. How long have we got left? Let's have a look. 20 minutes, and then it's our Alex on. I think Alex is doing a show tonight. The Razor's Edge show. Yeah, he'll be on at 9 o'clock, so I'm going to push off about 8:45. So I know it's been a slightly different show, but it's just a chill-out show tonight. And it's all about getting to that conference and how important it is, because I feel so strongly about how important it really is. Okay, so I played Kelly Clarkson. That was a great... I love that song. And I found this is a great song as well. I like a little bit of country music. I know, don't laugh at me. But I do like a little bit of country music. And I found this by a chap called Darius Rucker, and he's one of the few black country singers. But he's excellent. And this is a song called True Believers. And it fits in with what I'm thinking, because we're all looking for this freedom. We all want to be free, don't we? And an idea, if you get an idea... and you tell somebody else about it, and that's two people now. Very difficult. Like, I've been doing stuff on my own for quite a number of years now, and at first when I used to speak to people, they just thought I were mental. But obviously times have evolved. These last 2 years especially, more and more people have become aware, and now I'm joining groups like obviously Critical Mass Radio. Now we're all like-minded. We don't feel isolated. But at first I used to feel isolated, and I used to think to myself, well, if I could just get one other person to think. I don't like using the word belief, but self-belief. I knew it was wrong, and I knew I could do something about it. And I couldn't, for about 2 or 3 years, I couldn't find anybody that would understand what I was saying and believe in themselves and have the gumption to have a go. So, yeah, I'm really glad I found everybody here, Critical Mass Radio. It's my extended family now. So this song is called True Believers, and I like it. Basically what it's saying is if you can get two people come together and agree and share the idea, then from that much more can grow. So yeah, he's the first black country singer I've ever seen. He's excellent. So, yeah, so this is a chap called Darius Rucker and True Believers. I'll stick it on and see you back in about 2 minutes. Yeah, I love that. True Believers, nice country song there from Darius Rucker. Yeah, I like that. Okay, how long have we got left? Oh, I've got about 15 minutes left. That's perfect, yeah. Okay, so just getting back to our conference that I keep mentioning, because I'm so excited. Excuse me. I just took a big gulp of water, and it's coming back on me. Sorry about that. At least you know it's real with me. I belch on air and everything, don't I? Yeah, so I keep going on about this conference because I'm so excited about it. When people meet me, I never get unduly excited. I always seem pretty calm on the exterior, but... when I speak, I always seem pretty calm, but inside I'm a raging torrent of excitement. Honestly, I am. I'm so excited. Because I know it's going to be fantastic. I don't think, and I don't wish, and I don't hope, I just know it's going to be great. Do you know, I've not been this excited since, I can't remember when I was this excited. Probably when I was 13 years old, reading my mum's Grattan catalogue, the brassiere section when she was at work, 13, reading the brassiere section of the catalogue. That's the last time I was as excited as this. Oh, I'm sharing a few secrets here, aren't I? And let me tell you, a 13-year-old looking in the brassiere section, now that's pretty exciting, isn't it? So, that's how excited I am about this conference. I'm talking gibberish, aren't I? Yeah, so Rob B talking about why we are doing what we are doing, why we are doing it, and the goals we're aiming for. So, I've made a few notes about why I think we are doing what we are doing, why we're pushing forward, why we're having radio stations, conferences and checking everything out. It's all right. Oh, I don't know if you're laughing at me, Lisa, there. Too much info. Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it? Yeah, so why are we doing what we are doing, in my opinion? So I did a quick, about 10 minutes before the show, an A4 piece of paper and just scribbled a few things down. What we got? We've got about 15 minutes left at the most, so that's lovely. So I thought to myself, why are we, us right now, doing what we are doing? Why is it us? What are we doing and why? Based on what Rob's going to talk about in great depth. Well, I thought to myself, we can see what is happening. We've lifted that veil, that veil that's been, as we know, we're living in a matrix, which hence the name of my show, Out of the Matrix. And we know we're living in a matrix. And what is a matrix? Well, it's a veil that's been pulled over our eyes, isn't it? And we've lifted it. We've lifted that veil, and we've had a little peek underneath and thought, hang on a minute, everything's not what we thought it was. This veil, it's been pulled over our eyes, and it's been hiding what's really happening, and what's been happening in front of us. It's like the gap between what we are told is happening, what we perceive to be happening, and what is really happening. Well, the gap's massive, isn't it? It's absolutely massive. Now, that's why we are doing what we are doing. We've seen it. The 99%, bless them, I struggle to interact with them. They just can't see it. They can't, even when you tell them, they still can't see it, bless them. So we've got an obligation to do it, haven't we? This is why I do what I do, for us lot, but also we can't forget them lot as well. We can't forget them just because, I know we call them sheeple, and they are sheeple, but we can't forget them. We can't leave them behind. We've still got to keep plugging away, haven't we? And like I said about my brother, we've looked down that timeline and we can see the agenda. The New World Order that everyone talks about. The New World Order, don't be confused. A lot of people get confused. It's not a body of people. The New World Order is the agenda. The body of people, you can call them what you want, the Illuminati or the Vatican or whatever you want to call them, the Rothschilds. But the New World Order is the agenda. It's the agenda that's unfolding before our very eyes, isn't it? So, what's our aim? Our aim is to stop the advancement of this agenda from reaching its end goal. Well, what's its end goal? Well, again, we've looked down the timeline, we've looked at the documents, they brag off about what they're going to do. They've never totally hidden it from us. They always tell us what they are going to do, and all they want, it's not a lot what they're asking for. They want total world control and domination, don't they? They want absolute power and control. They want the absolute power and control to be placed in the hands of a relatively few people. And I use the word people very, very lightly. That's what they want. They want the very, very few elites to control the very many. This end goal also encompasses the depopulation of the human species. And this is being played out every day. So the depopulation of the human species to a sustainable amount. Have a look at, if you haven't already, Agenda 21, Georgia Guidestones, all about sustainable development under the massive lie of global warming. So that's why we are being culled, C-U-L-L-E-D, we are being culled, we are purposely being depopulated to reach a sustainable amount on the planet. And this is happening by the ones assuming the right to do this. They are assuming the right to be able to do this. They have never done anything against our will so far. We are consenting to it. Or rather, the majority of us are consenting to it. We're being poisoned and slow killed, if you like, on every level imaginable. You know and I know, but the 99% don't know. It's on every single level imaginable. It's in the air we breathe, as we know, isn't it? The water we drink, the food we eat. It's electromagnetic stuff, down to the clothing we wear, to the music we listen to. It's absolutely endless. Education, religion, we are being bombarded on every single level to be either mind-controlled or poisoned slowly to death. So this is why I do what I do, and I'm sure it's why we are doing what we are doing, because we can see the end goal. And the few remaining humans at the end game, the ones that are left, well, they're just going to be slaves, aren't they? And what I've realised is they want according to the Georgia Guidestones, 7 billion people on Earth, they want to whittle it down to about 500 million, 500 million, don't they? And the ones that are left, they want them to be slaves in voluntary servitude, basically, to be happy. Read Big Brother, read 1984 by George Orwell, sorry. They want these few remaining to be in voluntary servitude and to be happy and to love the servitude. Okay, they want them microchipped, they want them dumbed down, and they want them used as servants for the ruling elite. They want them robotic, automatons, I think you call it, to be unquestioning, unthinking, just mind-controlled slaves for the elite. So that is their end goal and their end game, and that's what they want. So why do we do what we do? Because we are basically sleepwalking, not us, of course. This is what this conference is all about. But as a species, we are voluntary, just walking into mass genocide. We're just going to, if it's left to anybody else apart from us, we are just going to walk straight into it, asking no questions, consenting to everything, being tricked, being bemused, being spellbound, total ignorance, as Dr. Watson says in the chat room, just pure ignorance. But there is a thing called cognitive dissonance. If you don't know something is wrong now, if you're a member of our human family and you do not feel that something is wrong somewhere, no matter how small, then there is something wrong with you. Everybody knows that there's something wrong with the government in this country, or America, or wherever. Everybody can feel that there's something wrong, can't they? But due to something called cognitive dissonance, it's like you know it's wrong, you know it's evil, you know something's wrong, but you justify it in your mind and turn away. That's the cognitive dissonance. It's the apathy. You know, there's so much evil in this country and in the world, but it's the apathy for me. Yeah, just look in the chat room there. Yeah, we are. It's perfectly right, that, Lisa, what you just said there. We are entrusting. We've entrusted our government, the people in what we perceive in positions of power. We've entrusted them with everything, and really, they are public servants. They're our servants. It's them that, in the capacity of the job they do, they are in voluntary servitude to us. But what's happened is they've changed the relationship round and made us to be in voluntary servitude to them. So they've took a higher step, and it comes back to trust, which is what I'm going to be speaking about at the conference. So yeah, let's rearrange the arrangement. Whenever they are acting in their capacity, in their job, they are in voluntary servitude. They are public servants. So it's back to trust again, like Lisa says in the chat room. And look at the way they're treating, as Yvonne says in the chat room as well, look at the way they are treating animals, plants, trees, the whole planet. They are not just poisoning us, the human beings, these few that wish to control us. They're decimating the planet, they're raping the planet. We have got no fundamental freedoms left. They are decimating the whole bloody thing, aren't we? So this is why we are doing what we are doing, in my opinion. Okay, so what time are we on? We're on 8:33. So yeah, going back to the conference again, this is what Rob's going to emphasise, Rob B, from over at Ashton, why we are doing what we are doing. So yeah, I think I've probably covered everybody there. I've covered a little bit. Let me just checking down my list now. Rob B, Albert Burgess, Ben EMLYN-JONES, Tony Farrell, Mark House and David Noakes, yeah. Yeah, so like I say, they are going to go into great depth, and it's going to be fantastic, the conference. So I just want to finish off on, I've just got a mountain of papers here, because I did a lot of scribbling before I started tonight. Do you know, I've been ever so busy this week. I'm like an old woman, whingy, aren't I? Yeah, so I've covered most of that. So like I say, it's going to be a great thing, because they're going to go into great detail. And they've done a lot of research, these people. They've done a lot of studying, and they're putting the word out there. So I've got, do you know something? I've only got one song left. So I'll waffle on for about 10 minutes, because like I say, the Razor's Edge shows are after this. So just before I waffle on, I just want to say, don't forget tomorrow night, it's Scouts night once again. Brilliant. Cry Freedom Show, 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock, or just short of 9 o'clock, with Lisa. Great show, love it. Always feel fantastic when I've listened to that. And then after that, 9 o'clock till 11 o'clock, the Prisoner Broadcast with the Reverend, our George. Another fantastic show. Always a great listen to that. Sometimes has great guests. Sometimes just himself and Pippa. I'm not forgetting to mention Pippa. Pippa makes a great contribution to the show as well. So yeah, Scouts night, favourite night of the week actually. Oh, somebody's just sending a message. Okay, Meta's going. I'll see you Saturday. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, you're coming along, Meta. Brilliant. Okay, see you, mate. Yeah, so he's coming along to the conference. A lot of people are going to pay on the door, but it's no problem. Like I say, it's 10 quid, so it's nothing, is it? Okay. So I've got one song left. I don't know what's happened to my playlist, but it's been on a diet. It's gone really skinny. Okay, so I'm going to finish off, and the only speaker I've not really spoke about, what we're going to talk about, is my own stuff, really. So, this is my last show before the conference. So, what I wanted to tell you is I'm going to be covering, if you look on the poster again, in the 5 minutes we've got left, 6 minutes we've got left, I'm going to be telling you all about courts. I know you've heard some of this stuff before, but it's quite interesting. I've got some more information about what's really happening in our courts. And going back to this trust relationship that I just mentioned, everything is a trust relationship. We've entrusted these horrible people, and they've abused our trust, and it's a time to take it back. I don't fight them anymore. All we've got to do is, en masse, is rearrange the relationship, but it's quite easy to do. So I'll be talking quite a lot about trust, quite a lot about the courts and what's really happening. If you don't know about the courts, what's really happening, it's a far more darker thing than you could imagine. There are 3 or 4 things happening all at once at court that you may or may not be aware of, and it's quite an in-depth and dark thing that's really happening at the back of all that. Yeah, so I'll be talking about that. And obviously the debts and economic enslavement, which are the tools that they use to enslave us more than anything. So instead of fighting back, I've been living now for 5 years, and what I do is, I keep saying it, I mirror back what they do, and I just turn it back round. Anybody placing any sort of demand on me for anything, mostly it's financial. Are you going, Yvonne? I think Yvonne from the chat room's going as well. If you are, night, Yvonne. Maybe not. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so I lose my train of thought, don't I? I think I'm getting old. I keep forgetting what I'm about to say. I do this when I do talks as well. So could somebody just remind me where I were? I've lost it all. Where was I? Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Talking about what I'm going to be talking about, aren't I, at the talk itself. Blimey, I need to sharpen my mind up, don't I? Yeah, so debts and economic enslavement. Like I said, I mirror it by, I accept everything that they throw at me. Any demand that they can throw at me, I accept it. But I'll do anything you say, but just show me a bit of proof. I asked for 3 things. This is what I'm going to be talking about at the talk as well. I asked for 3 bits of proof. Give them time. Can you provide it to prove that you can place a demand on me? They never can prove it. So then all I do is I start charging them for my time, and they all go away. So that's another thing I'm going to be talking about. So yeah, brilliant. That's about the end. I don't want to say too much because I've got a lot of information to share on the conference day. Oh, also, I found a way. I have researched mortgages and land. I think I found a way. I'm almost sure where we can reclaim our land back from those thieving bastards. Where we don't own our cars now, but I've said this in the talk a few weeks ago. I think it was the first one at Manchester. I found a way where we can own our own vehicles instead of just being the registered keepers. And it's simple to do. And I found a way where we can enter into car insurance through using a bonded type of insurance. What I'm looking for from this conference and further conferences and meetings is for us all to get together, share ideas, but have a look at what I've come up with and other people, go through it all, see if it's viable, and let's do it en masse. If we do it in large groups, they can't take action on us. So, that's me. I've waffled on towards the end. I'm going to push off now because I've got a song to finish off on. I really like this song. You might think it's a bit cheesy, but it's not actually. I like it. So, before I go, I just want to say, for the last time, get your ass to this conference because it is going to be fantastic. And we're going to make connections, and we're going to make a difference, and that's what it's all about. We've got an obligation to each other, we've got an obligation to ourselves, to our families, to our kids, to each other in this movement, but also to every living soul and every object on planet Earth. We've got an obligation to do this, haven't we? So we've got to do it. So based on that, it's all about sharing and helping each other as far as I'm concerned. And I made a quote up a few weeks ago, and Paul Giovanni, between him and the Reverend, have turned it into a bit of a jingle. And every time I hear it, I cringe because it's my voice. But it's how I was feeling, and it's come from the heart. So before I go into my last song, I'm going to play the quote and then my final song. So thank you ever so much for listening to me tonight. It's not been a typical show for me, because what I really want to do is push the conference, because I want us all to get together, make connections, and become such a strong team that we are invincible. So thank you to everybody in the chat room for listening to me. Thank you everybody who's catching this on podcast. I'll see you all at the conference on Saturday. I'm buzzing, I'm excited. So I'll see you all at the conference, and also next Wednesday for the Out of the Matrix show. So where's my quote? I'm going to stick my quote on, stick my song on. Take care, everyone. I'll see you on Saturday. If you don't make it, we're going to come round to your house and drag you there. So good night, take care, and see you soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.
You're listening to Critical Mass Radio. Now it's our turn.